Welcome to the Offsidesmen podcast, where we will be talking everything football, NFL, and related and such. Today is the first episode of the podcast in this beautiful studio. We are with our co-hosts. I'm Nate, Justin, Owen. We're all here. Owen's going to be called in via Zoom.
Owen's on the hotline.
You're going to hear his audio. Yeah, you'll hear his hotline right now.
Owen's here in spirit.
Exactly. Owen's here in internet spirit,
You'll
as
see
you
him
can hear right
eventually.
there. Yeah.
Internet spirit.
He is definitely here, and we want to get him on the show in person, and we're going to try to get his video in for next time. But we're going to move right into this because you're all here to hear football. So we're going to get right into this. Before we even start talking about football, I don't know if you guys can see by Justin's shirt, but Justin is a Seattle Seahawks fan.
Yeah, here, I'll stand up.
Yeah.
There's your shirt.
There's the shirt. Seattle Seahawks. And if you didn't know, Russell Wilson is not on the Seahawks anymore, Justin, and Bobby Wagner for that fact. So rest in peace to that Super Bowl team. Do we want to talk about that, Justin, real quick? Get your
there's a lot to talk about. First off, I got the shirt on, all right? Yesterday was yesterday. Today's today. Today's a new day, all right? Today's a new day in Seahawks history, okay? Brand new start, all right? We had Russ. Russ is gone now, all right? We got to forget about that, all right? We got to move on. We got to move on right now, all right?
Right now?
Right
You're
now.
not even going to get past it? It's been a day, not even 24 hours.
We had yesterday. The trade happened midday. What's up?
It's going to be all about the Drew Lock show now.
Exactly.
Drew Lock.
The trade happened midday yesterday, so you had the whole rest of the day to figure it out.
Yeah.
Get the tears out, maybe have a couple drinks. You never know. But today's a new day. It's a new day for Seahawks fans, and I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's and we'll go right into it. Let's detail the trade. So the trade was between the Seahawks and Broncos. Obviously, we got Russell Wilson and a fourth round pick. Sorry, in this year's draft next month, going over to Denver. And coming back to Seattle, we got Drew Lock, got the quarterback for quarterback swap. We got defensive end, defensive tackle Shelby Miller going over to Seattle. He's got some pass rush skills, can get to the QB. Seattle needs that. He's a little up in age, but hey, little veteran. Doesn't, it helps. And then they bring in Noah Fant. Young tight end, he's got a lot of speed. He's got a lot of potential. He showed it so far in his couple years in the league, and I'm excited for him too. And then the part I'm really excited for is that we picked up their 9th overall pick in the first round in the draft in 2022, their 2nd round pick, 5th round pick this year as well, and then for next year, 2023 draft, we pick up their 1st and 2nd round pick. So it was a big haul in return for Russ.
This is Justin's therapy session. He's trying to justify the Russ trade. No, you guys definitely got your money's worth. It's honestly, I don't know how you feel, Owen, but this is good for both teams. The Broncos, with their young, talented team, are kind of in win-now mode. With Russ, they're definitely competing for a deep playoff run. I wouldn't say Super Bowl just yet because their team is still a little young. They need that playoff experience. It definitely is interesting to see what's going to happen because Russ is going to bring another level.
They haven't made the playoffs since they won the Super Bowl at the end of Peyton Manning's career, and now it makes sense to bring in a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
The only tough thing about that is the division they're in.
Yep. AFC West has now become the best division and most talented division. It was the NFC West.
Yeah,
it was the NFC West. Now it's the AFC West.
Yeah.
Little swap.
AFC West will be one of the most competitive divisions.
No doubt. Look at the
come next season. Just look at the quarterbacks. You got Patrick Mahomes. You got Russell Wilson. You got Derek Carr. You got Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's he's just going after last year. He's showing that he can come to play. He can play with the big dogs. He can be up there with Patrick Mahomes and Derek Carr, two veteran. Well, it's weird saying veteran quarterbacks, but they're part of this new era of quarterbacks that we're moving into. Fading out with Brady leaving, Roethlisberger leaving. Only old era is you got Kirk Cousins, who no one really talks about, and you got Aaron Rodgers still. One thing about the Broncos, though, with Von Miller I don't know if you guys see, but Von Miller making these Instagram stories and these tweets all day yesterday. I mean, listen, if Von Miller somehow gets back to that Broncos team in the AFC West is going to be a force to be reckoned with. At that point, they're looking for that. It's going to be a playoff push team. And
yeah.
picking Von Miller back up for any team. Any team having Von Miller or Aaron Donald is a force to be reckoned with. Like, just look at the Rams last year, right? You had Aaron Donald on one side, Von Miller on the other. You only double team one.
Yeah.
Somehow the Bengals were able to do it, and watching the analysts replay it and show it was kind of interesting. Watching how that O line would, handle both of them. But Von Miller going back would probably be the Super Bowl idea for the Broncos come
Yeah.
next season, just for that playoff slash Super Bowl idea to have on your team.
Yeah, and that's something we'll get into further next episode. A little foreshadowing right there. Going
Mm.
back to the trade, so you start off with the QB swap, Wilson for Locke. And now some people, if anyone's looked at Twitter in the past 24 hours, people are saying, oh, well, that's where the Seahawks first go wrong, is they traded Russell Wilson for Drew Lock, who doesn't have enough experience, and during that experience hasn't showed enough, while Russell is a top 5, top 10 quarterback. So the Seahawks are losing the trade. Well, no shit. Part of the, like, if you were going to trade Russell Wilson for, say, Aaron Rodgers, there's just no point in that. It's two really good quarterbacks already. There's no point in swapping.
Yeah.
Part of the deal here is that you're getting rid of your quarterback to get a nice future haul like the Seahawks just did.
Yeah.
To maybe get a potential future quarterback.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie here, Russ is a game changer, no doubt. But in the Seahawks position right now, they're not really going for a championship in the 2 years that are left on his contract.
Yeah,
so you
it's
kind
just
of
not
got to
gonna
get max value for him at least.
And I heard rumors that Russ wanted Mahomes type money, and when his contract ends in 2 years, and
Yeesh.
I don't think the front office was
He's
about
33
that.
now.
He would be 35, 36 by then.
Yeah,
It
no.
just, I don't see that.
No.
I'd never saw that happening, especially since Seattle already has enough cap issues. It just would have got even worse.
Then DK is going to want a contract.
Exactly.
And
More good guys are going to want contracts too. We would have never made it to the playoffs, let alone the Super Bowl. So this was the right time. It's a tough pill to swallow. It's a lot to take in, but this was the right time.
Yeah, no doubt. And just like you said, in the next episode, we're actually going to be talking about specific teams like the Broncos and the Seahawks and how we think they should go forward in that. But I think that was a good brief little discussion.
Well, let me get to Bobby Wagner.
We didn't talk about Wagner yet.
So
You can get some Wagner.
So the trade happens, and everyone's like, oh, Russ was gone. And then someone goes, oh, yeah, now Bobby Wagner is the last player on the active roster from the Super Bowl team back in 2012. And reading that post made me feel sad and old at the same time. It was just got hit with, a combo right there. That sucked. But at the same time, it shows that both of them stayed on the team a long time. It's not like they won the Super Bowl, and then, left the team after 2 years. They were on the team for a long time. They did their part. And I kind of saw the Bobby thing coming. I was making a lot of predictions to myself. I was talking to you about it off camera.
I think he was easier to see than Russ
Yeah.
because Bobby's old. He takes up a lot of money.
They kept saying that Russ was going to stay, and because even right after the season ended, they were like, Bobby is up. He's questionable because of his contract and his age, and he's regressing. So once Russ got traded, I started thinking to myself, what are they going to do next? Because if Russ is gone, this kind of indicates the rebuild. And Bobby was the first guy I thought of. I'm like, okay, he might be next. And I figured maybe Seattle could trade him because he still has enough value, or maybe they could have picked up a late first.
Yeah.
Definitely a second, in my opinion. Third round pick at minimum. And what was it, 9, 10 o'clock last night? Comes around, I'm just chilling on my phone, and bam, there's the notification. Seahawks cut Wagner. I was like, son of a bitch. I predicted it, but I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, no, I get that. Definitely. And the question is, what's next to come? I see Lockett's name popping up everywhere. I see a couple older guys. Because the thing is, you got to sign guys like Quandre Diggs. DK is going to be later coming on. You're going to have a lot of young guys, Rashad Penny, who wants these contracts. And for you guys, if you're in the rebuild stage with Russ gone and Bobby gone, your veterans gone, I honestly would just go into a full-blown rebuild. Yeah. And I would cut the guys who are a little cap-heavy, maybe get a younger team, build up on those draft picks, and see where it goes from there.
I would just like to finish this off. If we recorded this yesterday or something right after it happened, I would have been like off the rails. I would have been running around the room talking about it. But I've taken time to calm down, kind of get over it, reevaluate more.
No, because yesterday you were freaking out.
I didn't know.
What the fuck is happening?
I didn't know what to do.
Bobby's gone. I'm like, Justin, he's old, man. Come on.
I was never mad, you could say, or like upset. I was stunned.
No,
shocked.
It's like when the veteran guy goes. I mean, when Tom Brady left New England, that's exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, really? This is how it's going to end?
Bro, I went into hiding.
Yeah.
I went straight into hiding.
It's like, this is how it ends.
I texted Nate.
Really?
I texted Nate. I'm like, Nate, the last play he had in New England, he throws a pick six. Yup, that's how we remember Brady
in the
now.
playoffs.
In the playoffs.
Good.
In the playoffs too. In the playoffs.
But no, I just first off, I like to finish it off by saying thanks, Russ. It's been a hell of a time. Thanks, Bobby. It's been a hell of a time. Two of the most impactful players in franchise history. Definitely the best quarterback and more than likely the best linebacker in franchise history.
Yeah, you heard that, Russ? You heard that? You heard it here. I know you're not listening to this, but Justin appreciates you. The only Seattle fan in the New England area appreciates you,
Biggest
Russ.
Seahawks fan in Connecticut.
Hands down.
Don't come at me.
Thank you, Russ. But if we're going to switch it.
He appreciates you throwing it on the one. He appreciates you throwing it on the one.
Yep.
We don't have to talk about that, yeah.
But, best of luck in Denver.
Yeah.
And, I'm looking forward to what he does up there. He should keep doing his thing. And same with Bobby, wherever he ends up.
So if we're going to talk about veteran quarterbacks, you know who we got to talk about next.
Aaron Rodgers.
Mr. 200 million.
Yeah. So they say.
Yeah, quickly,
So they say.
all the reports are coming out that it's $200 million, $50 million a year.
For 4 years. 153 guaranteed as well.
Coming straight from the Cowboy himself. Not the Cowboy, but, the shooter, get the belt on and celebrations and stuff. The money hasn't come out officially yet. That was only a rumor. But he's going to get big money to stay. Yeah. That's what he wants. Devontae's staying too. I don't know. I feel like my initial reaction to that is like, okay, I saw that happening. I don't really see Rodgers going anywhere else. Because, Rodgers does this every year. It's always, I'm going to leave. If you guys don't give me some help from the front office, it never happens. Ultimately stays. I kind of see it happening. I don't know. I just don't see the Packers doing anything with it. Unless they go heavy in free agency or the draft, it's the same Packers team. Mm-hmm. The same team that just lost to the 49ers led by Jimmy Garoppolo. I really don't – this is going to piss off a lot of people. But I really just – if they don't make a change and just pay Rodgers and Adams, I really don't see that team doing much more. I really don't.
Well, based on the rumors that have come out so far about this whatever contract he's going to end up getting, it's supposedly team-friendly. So Rodgers – yeah, he's been the source of the issues where, the front office isn't helping him out, putting weapons around him or boosting the defense. But at the same time, Rodgers has to do his part, too. Because if he's taking up 3/4 of the salary cap, how do you expect to have a good team around you?
Exactly. And it's the same Packers team. Yes, Rodgers won a Super Bowl with the Packers, but it's the same Packers team that for the past, 5 years has been claiming we're going to the NFC Championship and losing the playoffs. You have nothing to show for Rodgers being there that long, which kind of sucks because I really like the dude. But you can't – these quarterbacks, like Lamar Jackson reportedly wanting $40 million a year and Dak wanting this money, you can't win with that much money. I get you want to get paid, and I know you want to, but if you think you're that good, you should take a deal when you're older. You need to take team-friendly deals. Not team-friendly in the fact that you're getting paid $10 million a year because that's kind of low for a quarterback. But instead of $40 million a year, why aren't you taking 20, 25, 30 max? Get your guys around you, or else you're not going to be happy there. Would you rather win and make $20 million a year or lose consistently and make $40 million because you're not surrounded by anybody?
Mm-hmm. It's like at the end of the day, do you want to go home and think to yourself, oh, I'm rich and I play for a mid-team?
Yeah.
Or I'm rich and I got a Super Bowl ring?
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Because you're rich nonetheless.
Yeah.
You're getting millions of dollars.
You can live on that. And some of these players have wives who make equal the amount of money they do. So it's really not – money's not an issue. It's just kind of like, do you want to play for a team that's just meh? Or do you want to play for a team that you can actually help win? Mm-hmm. There's certain quarterbacks who do that, and there's certain quarterbacks who just want the money.
Yeah. But,
one thing I do have to say, though, is, say this deal is for, let's say theoretically this deal does come out and it's 4 years for $200 million. I don't see Rodgers playing until he's 42. He's
No,
38
yeah.
right. He's 38 right now. Going into next year, he'll be 39. 4 years, he'll be 32 or 42. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't see Rodgers outplaying Brady. Granted, Brady played till what, 40, 41?
44,
44,
45.
40,
45.
40,
Yeah.
45. I mean, listen, can Rodgers do it? Probably. Is he? I don't know. Rodgers, after just looking after this year, Rodgers is like, it's hit or miss. If he stays for the 4 years, after 4 years, he's done. All right. Rodgers wants the ring. I feel like if the Packers make a Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl within those 4 years, he retires after that Super Bowl. I
Low
feel he just wants another ring and call it quits.
low key, if they don't make like a deep, deep playoff run this year, I kind of think that it really just depends on this year because Devontae's got that franchise tag, and if he doesn't want to be there, if Rodgers not there, and he's still kind of young, so if they go really deep and maybe the NFC Championship and say they lose, it's really up to Devontae.
Yeah.
Because if Devontae doesn't stay, Rodgers doesn't want to be a part of a team that needs like new receivers. And who's their number 2? Lazard and Scaling?
Scantling's a free agent.
Yeah. Well, he might even go. Yeah, Lazard's number 2, and he's not even that good. So it's kind of like,
Randall Cobb.
oh, yeah. You want that old guy in your thing? Sheesh.
I definitely think Rodgers.
Well, here's another thing, too.
Keep going.
Here's another thing, right? You got Jordan Love, sitting at backup. He's going. Jordan Love's going what? Second, third year will be this
Third.
year for him?
Third.
He's had all of what? 3 games under his belt?
Only like one start.
Yeah.
Yeah, with one start. Give the kid some playing time. Have faith. Like I keep saying, we're phasing into this new era of quarterbacks. Give this kid time to, get adjusted to how the league is, how your team is, right? You just keep this kid on the bench. When Roger retires in, who knows, 2, 3, 4, even maybe 1 year, he's going to go in there coming off the bench, blind as a bat, going against, for all we know, the freaking Denver Broncos in an out-of-conference game, okay? And Von Miller is coming at him full speed. Like, you got to look at those types of scenarios, and, this kid's not getting playing time. I'm a big Jordan Love guy. I want to see Jordan Love succeed. I talk to my roommate all the time about, because he's a Packers fan, and I'm always like, I always joke with him saying, Rodgers is washed, put Love in. And even he says, I would love to see Jordan Love play. Like he was talking about, like, listen, if Rodgers doesn't come back next year, I'm excited to see Jordan Love play, see him develop as a quarterback. And, with young quarterbacks, you want to develop them. He's had the guidance of Rodgers for 3 years now, right? And with that knowledge, I don't think any quarterback would pass up. I don't think with Jimmy Garoppolo when he was with Brady, want to pass that up for a lifetime, getting that understanding of, how, like, not how to be a quarterback, but, how to develop as a quarterback in the NFL, all the, tips and tricks, the little techniques, and with Jordan Love being with Aaron Rodgers, I feel like that's nothing but success for him. Just they're not allowing him to succeed.
So, Owen,
No way.
So can I ask you something? If
Yeah.
the decision between Rodgers and Love is Rodgers is staying for the full 4, and say they have a great season next year and they decide to stay for the full 4, what can we expect out of Love? Do you think he'll get traded? Do you think he's just going to be fine with being a backup to Rodgers? Because I know a lot of people all over the internet are saying they'd like to see Love go somewhere because he's got 2 years experience behind Aaron Rodgers, who's a great quarterback. The question is, are the Packers going to want to trade him? Or because Jordan Love, in my mind, there's no way you get drafted out of Utah, big name, drafted in the first round, and want to sit, 6 years, 6 years on the bench? 4 years plus his 2 he's played?
They could be doing what they did to Rodgers, right?
Rodgers, how long?
Rodgers sat for a long time.
Yeah.
And Favre.
I think it was like, what,
It was at
3
least 3
years?
years.
3. Yeah, not 5. I'd be mad at 5.
I
With
would,
this 4-year deal, I would be tempted to request a trade.
if I was a first round pick QB and I sat on the bench for 5 years without getting a chance to prove myself, I'd switch positions.
Yeah.
I'd find any way out of
request
that.
a trade. The freaking Commanders are calling people, they're rapidly making calls about quarterbacks who are untouchable, like Mahomes.
They they called the Chiefs about Patrick Mahomes. I
terrible.
saw that on Instagram, and I'm like, come on.
If you're
I
a
know you guys
team
are. I know you're
desperate,
desperate, but the Chiefs kind of are paying this guy like buku dollars. I don't think they're gonna get rid of him.
if you're
But
a team like that looking for a new thing, wait, Owen, if you're a team like the Commanders looking for at quarterback to be your new name with your new uniforms, new name, you want a new franchise quarterback, I'd be calling him right up. What do you want for Love? I'll give you a second round pick, late second round. That's my offer.
Well,
He's got no first round value.
No.
Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking, right? Here's what I'm thinking, right? There's a lot of quarterbacks out there right now, right? You got Jordan Love for backup.
A lot of
I see.
Acceptable quarterback.
You got mid. I was gonna say Jimmy Garoppolo next. So that's another mid quarterback. I mean, listen, Jimmy Garoppolo has a talent if he doesn't rush.
Yeah, they're functional.
Jimmy Garoppolo just rushes everything, and yes. And I saw a report yesterday that the Bills and the Giants are reportedly going to make a move on Mitch Trubisky. With Mitch Trubisky backing up Daniel Jones, and a little quarterback battle over there. See if Mitch Trubisky can win that job. I mean, Mitch Trubisky, the Bears. We all know how that went with good old Mitch. And then now he's just bouncing from team to team as a backup. Getting started in there. But to answer your question about the Jordan Love situation, Jordan Love's gonna, he's still on his rookie contract. With that possible extension when his contract is, moving.
Oh, we lost Owen.
Awkward.
I do understand what you're saying, Owen. I do think that Jordan Love does deserve an opportunity. I think Rodgers is getting up there in age. I think they're going to stick with him for the 4 years. Rodgers is a Green Bay man. He's going to retire Green Bay. But I think Jordan Love deserves another opportunity. They should maybe draft a lower.
And before getting too out of order there, let's go back. Let's bring it back over to Adams getting the tag. And speaking of the tag, we'll go over some other players who did get tagged yesterday before the franchise tag deadline.
Mm-hmm. I have a list right here. I don't know where Owen went, but he will be back.
We'll find him.
We will find him. Owen, if you are lost and
he's
watching
still hiding
now,
because Brady left.
You. Yeah, Brady left. Owen's still in hiding.
Just some key names that got tagged yesterday. We got Devontae Adams, obviously, getting the tag, staying with Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers for at least one more year. Mike Williams, wide receiver for the Chargers, got the tag yesterday as well. Young receiver, probably had his best season this past year. Surprised he got the tag, honestly. I thought maybe he was going to walk. But, well, no, actually, he didn't get the tag. He got the extension.
Mike Williams? Yeah, 3 years. That's
They said fuck the tag.
A lot of money, but good for a player of his caliber.
Yeah.
Solid wide receiver, too. Keenan's getting old. He's got that starting position when Keenan leaves. So.
Yeah, and Herbert needs his weapons, especially now with more competition in the AFC West. Chris Godwin got tagged for the second consecutive year. I honestly thought he was going to walk. But at the same time, you don't even have say in the franchise tag. So if they hit you with it, you have to take it.
Yeah, it's weird. This is second straight year, right?
Second straight year. So there's no way he's going to want another one after this.
No, he's
next season. But this is probably the best thing for him.
Yeah.
Because especially with the injury he had, and he might not even play a full season coming up, it's definitely best for him to have the tag, come back, do his thing, prove himself again, and then, which I'm sure he will, and then come next offseason, he can get the bag.
Yeah, like there's some players, like you said, who definitely we saw coming. Jesse Bates, easy to see.
Yep.
Gesicki, easy to see.
Yep.
Some guys who I was actually shocked to see tagged. Mike Williams, obviously, he got signed, which was a shock to me, kind of. Dalton Schultz and David Njoku, two big tight end guys off the board.
Yeah.
That was kind of shocking to me.
Well, Schultz just had a absolute breakout season this year in that electric Cowboys offense. So that one makes sense, but Njoku was definitely the biggest surprise to me because he's not even the starter.
Yeah, and they signed Hooper to that massive
They've
deal.
had Hooper. They have Njoku, who I've liked since he got drafted, first-round pick. But he's not even the starter, and now he's getting paid for this next season what a starter makes.
I mean, the more you talk about it, Dalton Schultz does make sense. He's making around $11 million for the year, which that's kind of a little high for him because he's a little bit newer. But again, you got to see if he's good or not. You don't want to sign him to a giant extension if he's all right. So, if he has a great season now, I'd like to see him get a decent contract in the future.
Nate, sorry to interrupt, but we got some breaking news coming out of Washington just now, 2 minutes ago. Adam Schefter, Colts are trading for quarterback Carson Wentz to Washington for a package of packs that are thought to include 2 first-round draft picks. So, back to our Washington. Hold up, let me pull it up again. Two third-round picks. So, Washington has its quarterback now. They got Carson Wentz. Answers our question about the Washington Commanders.
The last 5 minutes of discussion. Throw it out the window.
Throw it out the window. The Commanders go into the Super Bowl.
Listen, Carson
that was terrible. I'm sorry, but that is yesterday. Okay, so if you guys didn't know, we actually write down our episodes, so we have a little bit of like what we need to know for structure. And foundation. Next episode, which is coming out on the 16th of next week, because this is airing on the 11th. By the 16th. You will see. We actually are doing a segment where we talk about teams that are going to make it to the Super Bowl if they do a couple like perfect scenarios. You guys have seen them everywhere. We have 2 of them that are perfect scenarios and 2 of them that are rebuild mode. One of my perfect scenarios is actually the Colts, and me and Justin on the way back from writing the outline actually discussed the Colts and Carson Wentz, and I even said you need to dump that contract, and Justin goes, who the hell's even going to want that contract, to be honest? And I think we did actually say the Commanders because they've been desperate for a quarterback. But 2 third-round picks, really?
Hey, but this is such an L for the Colts, no matter what, because they gave up so much for Wentz. They gave up the first-round pick. Mm-hmm. They took on a decent amount of his contract, his absolutely overpaid contract. Mm-hmm. And now, after just 1 year coming up short of the playoffs, they're only getting third-round picks.
We gotta be real though.
And they're probably still gonna pay him a little bit.
Was it really Carson Wentz who got them to the playoffs?
You mean short of the playoffs?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean Jonathan Taylor did his thing. I know you and me, whenever we talk like off camera, that you're not the biggest Carson Wentz fan, but I'm gonna come in a little bit here and defend him. All right, if you pull up the stats, which I've talked to you about before, Carson Wentz made it through the whole season. That's a positive right there. Surprisingly, yes, but he made it through the whole season. Threw for 3,500 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 7 picks. You can't really complain about that, can you?
I mean, I guess not, but
those are above average numbers.
He's just not the guy.
Those are above average numbers, but then again, towards the end of the season there, when they were trying to make that push, there were the games where he threw the ball like 6 times.
Yeah.
Which is a little embarrassing.
He is one of those guys that's functional. If you're a team that really wants to make that push, he's one of those guys that's good for the season, but he'll never do anything against really good teams in the playoffs. I'm sorry, but he's just one of those guys. You can never get past that. He had the Super Bowl, but you can honestly attribute it to his injuries. He can never be that guy and mark my words right now, he will never be that guy again who will ever get a team to a Super Bowl.
And here's the thing,
he's
too.
Not that guy.
Low key, I think he might regress too, because he had an advantage in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
His head coach Frank Wright was his offensive coordinator in Philly when they went to the bowl and everything. Mm-hmm. Now he's losing that connection he had with a coaching staff member, going to a totally new staff, totally new offense. It's going to be a lot of new shit for him. Granted, Juan Rivera, great coach, but they're back. He's back at step 1, and the offense is back at step 1.
Yeah, great for the Colts. Even though they have to pay him some money, they get him out of the locker room. Quarterback's up to question now. I don't know what draft pick they have, but I'm sure that they're gonna go.
Don't have a first.
They do not have a first. I know that.
Reports are saying it's going to be mid-round picks. So you're looking at 3rd, 4th round draft picks right now.
Yep.
Gotcha. All right. Well,
could be useful down the line. You never know. They could draft a future Hall of Famer, but as it stands right now, Yeah.
Like I said, tomorrow I'm going to be, we're recording this tomorrow, so we'll have a little more information, but this is coming out on the 16th. By that time, we'll have a little more information to discuss, and I'm actually going to discuss in depth the Colts because I have some numbers written down, but we'll go back to the tags because we were talking about that originally. That's what that episode is.
Great timing for some breaking news.
Yeah, I know, right in the middle of an episode. That's sick.
Tremendous.
All right, so tags. We went over players that we were shocked to have tagged, and players that did get tagged, which we kind of saw that come in, like Orlando
Going
Brown.
back to Njoku before the news broke,
oh, yeah.
maybe, since the Browns, and the Browns are one of the teams, spoiler alert, that we'll get into tomorrow, since they're kind of unsure about what they want to do, they lost Odell. Jarvis is getting up there in age. The amount of weapons they have is starting to get a little limited. So maybe they're thinking, this is just what I'm thinking. Obviously, I don't know anybody in the Browns organization. But maybe they're
close friends. I'm close friends with them. Me and Baker, we go way back.
Back in OSU days. But maybe, just maybe, they're thinking about taking Njoku, maybe throwing him at wide receiver. Or they could be switching up the scheme a little bit, doing what the Patriots did with those two tight end sets.
No, I can see Njoku's one of those athletic guys. There was even reports of a bunch of tight ends nowadays are more pass catchers. Like I saw a report that Evan Ingram is potentially being converted to slot, which is kind of weird. But,
these tight ends, I mean, it's like just like any other position. Yeah. Everyone's becoming a freak athlete.
Yeah, exactly. They're all freak athletes now. Now you got your quarterbacks running around.
My new tight end of the future, Noah Fant. He's probably one of the faster tight ends in the league.
Yeah, no. I like Njoku. I've always kind of liked him. They signed Hooper to that massive deal, and I thought that was a mistake. But that's all right. So I actually want to talk about now some players who did not get tagged. For example, one of the biggest guys in the market right now, J.C. Jackson, did not.
Listen, I'm going to cut you off. I was so fucking pissed when I was waiting till the deadline. Like, I was, on Twitter, looking at my phone, and I don't see the Patriots tag anybody. I'm like, come on. You don't tag one of you're, if not one of the best corners we have on the team right now.
The best. He's one of the best in the league.
I mean, if not one of the best in the league right now, and you're not going to tag him, I mean, if not tagging him, they better be giving him a contract. I mean,
yeah, you got to hope that they don't let it go to free agency.
Exactly. Like, if we're going to let J.C. Jackson go to free agency, that's another piece of our defense. Listen, the Patriots are known to do that. They let defensive players go. They just let Kyle Van Noy go. Granted, Kyle Van Noy is, he's up there in age, right? He's an older player. But still, we're letting a lot of these, good players go, which is now hurting what we call our quote-unquote dominant defense. You look at the Bills playoff game, you're like, dominant defense, sure. But, you take J.C. Jackson away, now what? We got Stephon Gilmore, or we don't even have Stephon Gilmore. I don't even know why I said that.
Cyrus Jones and Jonathan
Jones?
Not Jonathan Jones. Jeez. Cyrus Jones and I don't even know.
Kyle Duggar. No, he's a safety.
He's a safety. Yeah, no, he's really good at safety. Yeah, your boy Quandre Diggs.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised about this one. I thought either from a Seahawks standpoint, I thought they were going to either tag him or Rashad Penny.
He might get that contract now with Russ's big contract.
Best 5-game span of all time for a running back. Diggs, now that he didn't get the tag, yes, he broke his whole leg in the last game of the season, and he probably might not be ready for week 1 come September, but he is a very good free safety.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. He's a good leadership guy. But now that he didn't get the tag, and now that Russell's gone, I think Diggs might be gone too. Sheesh. I do hope they sign Penny, though.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised that Seattle didn't use the tag. I think it would have made yesterday a little better if they threw the tag on somebody.
Little Band-Aid on the bullet hole.
Yeah, know that you're retaining at least one guy.
Yeah. No, not this time.
No, yesterday was all pain.
One really good topic, which I was going to save till right now, and it is right now, so let's do it, is receivers. The currently the best receiver on the free agency market is Allen Robinson, which stud at his position. Not last year so much, but Matt Nagy, young quarterback, it's debatable. But I want to talk about the receivers now because you have Mike Williams signed, Chris Godwin, who got tagged, Allen Robinson, who's still there, Calvin Ridley, who's just got gambling problems apparently. You got these receivers who this is supposed to be one of the best free agent receiver classes for teams to go after, teams that need a receiver. Like the Patriots, maybe the Browns, a couple guys like that who just need that dependable wide receiver 1 or a solid 2. That Juju, I forgot to name him. Christian Kirk. Yeah, you have a couple guys still, but those really big players, Adams off the board, obviously, those really big name guys, they're not there anymore. So I don't know. Can I get a couple
the market
predictions
got
real
very
quick?
shook up in the past 2 days.
24 hours, 48 hours. But if we're going to talk about tags and everything, is there any couple destinations you'd like to see this receiver class go? Justin, do you have a few? Give me like rack it off like one or two.
Right. Okay. Amari Cooper, who is most likely going to be released.
Not yet.
It's not official.
Most likely.
It's something it's been a hot topic.
Mm-hmm.
Did come out today that they might think about trading him too,
Mm-hmm.
where they can get some value out of him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
Come on, say it for me. Say it for me.
I think nonetheless, Amari Cooper is out of town, and I think
say it.
real nice destination for him would be the New England Patriots.
Thank you very much.
Woo!
Thank you.
That's what we all are hoping too.
We all want out of
Same with Allen Robinson. I'll throw his
Yeah.
name out there too. I think both of them, obviously both of them can go deep, but I think both of them are better route runners that can do the medium short passing game, which is what Mac Jones likes to thrive in, and what he still needs a wide receiver one nonetheless.
Yeah.
But with Allen Robinson too, I think a good fit for him would be the Eagles.
Yep.
They need a wide receiver one.
I've seen someone say Raiders too for him.
Raiders
Eagles,
too.
Raiders,
Raiders need a
Patriots,
receiver, one that's not too speedy.
Yeah, one that doesn't like to get into trouble.
But because don't know, but at least think that the Eagles were probably in on Calvin Ridley once it came out that maybe they were going to trade him, but he gambled those chances away. So
yeah, no doubt. Owen, what do you got? You got any two? Maybe you want to talk about Christian Kirk, or you know what? Who any of the receivers?
Michael Gallup.
I was also gonna say Amari Cooper. I can 100% see Bill Belichick taking Amari Cooper. Veteran receiver, bring him in. Give Mac that deep threat, but who can also, like Justin said, run those medium and short routes to a T, where Mac that's the area Mac thrives in. Another receiver I can kind of see coming to New England. I can see Juju. Not saying Juju's problematic. I mean, you look at Juju with the whole TikTok issue and, this and that. The Patriots pick up players like that.
Mm-hmm.
For heaven's sakes, we picked up fucking Antonio Brown. I don't think anything else has to be said. We picked up Antonio Brown. So, I mean, we even picked up Randy Moss. Love Randy Moss. But, when Randy Moss was in the league, Randy Moss had him out. And the Patriots have that, mentality of we don't take that shit, right? And everybody in the league knows that what the Patriots mentality is, the whole do your job aspect, right? And, I could see Juju going there, not turn him around, but more of, developing more. I'm not saying he's not a developed receiver. I mean, there's always room for improvement for any type of athlete. But, I can see him going there, once again, another receiver who is good at, running short routes, running medium routes. He's also a good deep threat. And, adding him to New England could help us, where we need it. And the Patriots need it.
Yeah, I see that. If I had to choose a couple of them, Amari, I could definitely see coming to New England, just because you need that wide receiver one, and the Patriots in the last season or two have been trying to get the guys they need to do because obviously Tom Brady can't carry the team anymore because he doesn't even play football anymore. You need a receiver that can hold on. You have Jacoby Myers, who they're talking about giving an extension to. Nelson Aguilar needs to get the fuck out of New England. I don't like him. Especially N'Keal Harry. Drop his ass, please. To skip off the New England Patriots topic, Allen Robinson, if I had to choose, I'd probably say either the Eagles or the Raiders now. Odell staying in the Rams territory is what I believe. Christian Kirk, I think he can go anywhere. I don't think he's a solid wide receiver one yet. I think he's a solid two.
He's definitely a two.
Definitely a two, not a one. And that's the receivers. But I have a list here. We'll go through the top 10, maybe a little bit over. Nah, we'll go top 10. I'm gonna rip off some names of the top 10 just to end off the free agent topic. Actually, well, this is tags and stuff we're still going over. So, you know what? We're going to transition to free agency.
Yeah.
Because we're already getting there anyway. So, let's I'm going to rip off the top 10. I just want y'all to give me a quick we'll do it. Maybe we'll explain after. We'll explain maybe one or two guys we feel passionate about, but just rip me a quick team, We'll all go. We'll start with Owen. We'll start with then Justin. Then I'll end it off with my team. Rip it off. No explanation. We'll give it one after. So we got Teron Armstead, the offensive tackle from the Saints, 31 years old. What are we thinking, fellas? Cue Owen. Owen, what do you
Sorry,
think?
say that again.
Teron
Sorry.
Armstead, the offensive tackle from the Saints. Where do you think he's going? And if you don't think or you don't have a strong enough opinion that you want to back up, you could just say you don't have to pick right now if you don't want. You could just say pass on it because there are some guys on this list that I don't really know.
A smart idea. He's a decent offensive tackle. Um, I can see him going to, look at the Jags. Jags really the Jags need an offensive line. They just bumped up cap space
Wait,
to, I
Owen.
believe, 208.
Owen,
Yes.
we're rapid firing. Just give me a name and we'll explain after. Trust.
Oh.
Jags.
Jaguars.
All right, JT.
I think maybe the Broncos now because of Russell Wilson.
Broncos. I'm gonna say Ravens. All right.
And hang on 1 second. Like Nate mentioned a couple seconds ago, we might not know the best destinations for all these guys. We'll just point that out now. We should have done that at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
All three of us, we're big time football guys.
Yeah.
But we're not experts.
We're not professionals.
All right, cut us a little fucking slack. All right. We know some stuff. We don't know some stuff. But at least throw us out there. We know what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, feel free to roast us in the comments if you want, or even go to the TikTok page and post comments. We'll even discuss it with you guys. We can invite you to a live or something and talk about it. We're not experts, but we do definitely know a lot.
Yeah, but when you come listen to this, you just know it's going to be about football. We're not going to be talking about soccer.
No soccer, no baseball, maybe baseball.
A little baseball.
No soccer, no basketball. We don't really know much about that.
If the lockout ends during the podcast, you'll know.
Yeah, Justin will freak out. Ripping it off, J.C. Jackson.
You gotta watch it. You gotta.
Oh, and give me a team. JC.
J.C. Jackson, I hope Patriots son.
Patriots, Justin.
Fuck it. Everyone's going to the AFC West now. Chargers.
Oh, I'm going to say Patriots. I see them putting in big money. Vonnie Miller, Owen.
Broncos.
All right, that was easy. Carlton Davis, the corner, $25.
Mid?
Mid?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
No.
Where do you think he's going?
Me? I think he's staying with the Bucks.
Second that.
All right.
I'm going to third that.
All right. Chandler Jones.
This one's interesting because he had 5 sacks the first game of the season and then low-key fell off a little bit after that. But I believe the year before that, too, he had close to 20 sacks.
Yeah.
He is going to be he's 32. I don't know when he turns 33, eventually, obviously, but at some point.
I don't know an exact team, but I'm saying a contender. He's that age. He wants
contender
to play
that
for
needs
his
pass
team.
rush. I mean, yesterday before 2 o'clock, I would have said maybe the Seahawks, but not anymore because things have changed. So I don't know. Whoever needs pass rush, that's competitive.
He even will go to a team that just he knows they're going to go to the championship. Yeah. Like teams that already have decent defenses, maybe the Bills, maybe. Yeah. I mean, they have a really good defense. Don't get me wrong, but he's one of those guys that he's old enough that he'll take a deal just to get a ring.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see that.
I don't know. You got to think about his market too. Harold Landry signed an extension last night with the Titans as well for $87.5 million, and he's a pretty good pass rusher as well. So.
Because you'll see these veterans.
Jones is probably going to be looking in that market too. Maybe not as much money, but probably more per year.
Yeah. Well, he's one of those veterans. He's this age, not having a ring, you're going to a team that look at Le'Veon Bell last year. Why the hell does the Bucks have 4 different running backs? Giovanni Bernard, Le'Veon Bell. Those guys don't even make a difference on that team. They literally just signed to get the ring. You're going to get teams like that. But Chandler's one of those guys that can make a difference, so he should go to a team that needs him.
Oh, yeah.
And get paid for it, but he'll get that ring. Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger. Owen, what do we think?
Oh, I feel like he's going to stay.
Stay, Justin?
I would either say stay or the Ravens.
Same here. We hooping. You hear that one? We can skip that guy. Allen Robinson. We already talked about him. Odell Beckham Jr.
How about let's go with Brandon Sheriff.
Brandon Sheriff?
Yep.
I don't know.
He's the best offensive lineman on the Commanders. So he's going to be very welcomed probably by a lot of teams that need O-line help.
I don't know. I don't really have an exact team, but again, great O-line.
Could throw him back there at the Commanders now that they got Carson, Wentz.
Oh.
Say the Broncos, you never know.
Yeah, no, he's going to go anywhere that line help needs.
You know what? At this point, let's just put everybody on the Broncos' radar, okay?
Yeah, fuck it. They're like the new Rams. New Rams.
John Elway put his big boy pants on, put his cowboy boots on, and said, you know what? We're getting everybody.
You know where Gilmore's going? Going to Seahawks. No, you wish.
Again, half these guys, if you asked me yesterday before like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I could have thrown Seattle
because you guys could have done something with it.
Because
no, but,
it's out there that Gilmore will probably go West Coast.
Yeah, definitely.
Odell, he's staying with the Rams.
Yeah. Let's do one of them that I really like. Hot topic. Jameis Winston. Owen, what do we think?
Wash quarterback.
No.
Excuse me. Take that back right now.
Listen,
take it back.
Talked, Nate.
Take it back.
Take
it back.
Wow.
Take it back.
No, I'm not going to take it back. And let me tell you why.
You're washed, right? How about that? You're washed.
Yeah.
You're washed.
I'm a washed D3 football player. You have no knees, and Justin's a high school pitcher.
He's a high school dropout sitting in a college thing right now. No, Justin is not a high school dropout.
Roasted.
Let's just start roasting everybody. Jameis has no legs, dancing with his crutches.
You know, here's what I like to say about Jameis. If he didn't start dancing on crutches, Saints would have made it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Saints went 9-8. It came down to the last game of the season, and when Jameis Winston played, he went 5-2.
I like Jameis. I always liked him. He got that LASIK. He knows where he's throwing now. He has had the arm. I loved him at FSU.
He learned
one of my guys.
He learned from Drew Brees. He learned from Sean Payton. He has the skill.
Yeah. Like, the question is the team going to be decent enough to keep him?
I did see his name connected to the Commanders earlier today until some other shit happened. But take them off the board. Maybe Seattle. Why not? I'd take them for a year.
You guys are going to fuck. Just a little bit.
I know.
Malik Willis.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yes, we will, because I think certain people are going to Seattle.
Sell the team.
So if he's not staying with the Saints, I'm guessing that's what you're saying, Justin. The Saints he's staying with. I'm saying the Saints.
I would say the Saints, or maybe even
a team that needs a decent game.
How about plot twist? He goes to the Bucs.
Imagine back to the Bucs. Oh, and where do you see him going if he's not? Or do you see him going? You're just saying he's washed.
I can see both scenarios to where he stays or goes.
Okay.
And I'd have to say if he had to go somewhere, the Bucs. He goes back home.
Ooh. No, I see him. Yeah, those two, but I'm saying he stays.
Let's also talk about Ryan Jensen, best center on the market.
He's staying.
I always find, me personally, I think the center is like the most important offensive lineman.
Yeah. Takes
Granted, they're the one that snaps the ball.
Them and the left tackle.
But like just having like that good center right there in the middle to lead the whole line, I think that sets up the chemistry right from the get-go.
Agreed.
Yeah, no, I don't really see him going anywhere else.
I think he'll most likely stay. Or again, I mean, we're talking about top 15, top 20 free agents here. The majority of them are going to go to good teams.
Yeah. You know who's going to the Seahawks, though? Like, I was joking before, but you know who's actually going to go to the Seahawks?
Who?
Hassan Reddick. 27, 23 and a half sacks. Man is a baller, and that defense needs a little bit of help from a pass rusher.
I saw a prediction on, I think it was Instagram. Someone said Randy Gregory to Seattle.
Okay.
The fuck is he doing?
Interesting. I know one topic that Owen can put his input on. Robbie G. Rob Gronkowski. Owen, where do you see this man going?
Mr. Party.
Mr. Party himself, Robert Gronkowski.
Listen, the guy who still thinks he's in college going to Darties every day. Fuck. Thinks he's still part of the frat. Listen, it can go either way with our boy Gronk here. He's made reports saying he wants to play for Joe Burrow. Gronk is a Super Bowl guy. Okay, he's that player that always wants to be in that, wants to be at the dance. Gronk has said it for years. Hence why Gronk left the Patriots. He's like, I don't want to play for any other quarterback but Brady. Like him and Brady had that chemistry. And not saying it's hard to find, but when you're a really high caliber receiver, tight end, you get those quarterbacks that you just mesh with, and then you have other quarterbacks where you can't mesh with.
Yeah.
And, the way Gronk put it, he wants to play for Joey B. He wants to play for Joe Shiesty. Go to the Bengals. Go try to run it back with Bengals. Listen, if the Bengals organization was right and they wanted to play their cards right, picking up Gronk, I'll put racks on it. They go to the Super Bowl. They're gonna make a run at it again. You add that threat to your already threatening receiving core. Granted, you got Jamar Chase. I mean, listen, Jamar Chase. I'm gonna say it now.
Don't you dare.
Probably will be the best receiver come next year. He's going to have a Cooper Cup season.
You heard that here, folks. That is a hot take from Owen, and that will be on the TikTok because I want everyone to roast him about that one. All right, guys? All right?
What? No. You're telling me?
No, he's good. No.
He's good, but I disagree with you.
He's good, but not next year. Maybe in like 3 years.
There's still too many guys that are better than him and have better chances.
Look at Jamar's stats just on his rookie year.
Hey,
here's the thing.
Justin Jefferson, you heard of him?
Here's the thing now with Chase. It was his rookie year. Defenses were trying to figure him out. Now they haven't figured out with a year under his belt.
What helps him too is that he has two really good receivers.
He does have a good pair of receivers with him as well.
Yeah.
Yep. And actually going back to Teron Armstead and guys like Ryan Jensen, totally forgot about it. Throw the Bengals out there in the mix because they need a fucking O-line.
That would really help them next year.
But Nate, here's another thing, right? You have Gronk go to the Bengals, right? You're running 3-4 wide, right? Gronk's out in the slot. Who are you double teaming in that scenario? You got Jamar Chase or Gronk. Which one are you double teaming?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you.
That's the same situation when Gronk was on the Patriots. It's do you double team Amendola, Edelman, or Gronk? Pick from your poison.
The hard
part, at one point, one of those is going to be open.
Yeah, the hard part about Gronk is that he is old, so he's same situation as Chandler Jones. Like, yes, he did get a ring with Brady, obviously, but that was his boy. That's who he went with. That was the whole reason he went with them. But the hard part about that is now Gronk's also not with Brady, so he wants to go good quarterback, good team. He wants to be on one of those, and he's proved that he is because, let's face it, Gronk is one of the better tight ends in the league right now. One of the best of all time to do it. That's another argument for another day. But I can definitely see there was reports of the Bengals.
Boy Kyle Pitts shine.
The Bengals. He's not that good in low key. The Bengals, the Bills, and the Bucks. I can definitely see because that's why I said Bengals, Bills, Bucks. Because Bucks, he's staying, just makes sense. That's probably one of the lesser options because there is no quarterback there.
That
Bengals,
or he just retires.
And the Bills wants him
or retires.
I would like to see him go somewhere else, like the Bills, the Bucks.
Yeah, I'd like to see him play with another quarterback.
Yeah, because those two
it
are
really seemed like he was following Brady, especially if he retires.
To be honest, I'd love to see him just go to the Bengals, not the Bills, just because Patriots have to play him again. I'm not trying to play Gronk.
I feel like he'll be more utilized on the Bengals because C.J. Usman is good, but you can run two tight end formations, or C.J. Usman also just got off that injury, so you can take some of the pressure off him and put it on your veteran guy. And have him in the locker room with C.J. Usman is such a good thing.
Exactly. And just on top of that, adding Gronk to block, Gronk is a menace. People underestimate Gronk with blocking, but you see him on some powers and some trap plays with some blocking. Gronk is a trench man. Gronk is one hell of a motherfucker when it comes to running in the trench.
Yeah. To restructure, reorganize, because I know we were ripping through the top 20. We're kind of past them now. We're kind of out of the top 20. These are more guys who are just role players. They kind of have their place on an offense.
Trent Brown's a free agent?
He is a free agent. There's a bunch of linemen, actually. This is a lineman-heavy free agency and not really, like, skills. Like, there's some skill positions.
Here's a guy let's talk about. That's a free agent. Cordero Patterson.
I'm talking about him tomorrow.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's just go over him a little bit here right now.
I think he's
some
staying.
Predictions out here. He just came off the best year of his career. Too bad it took him until he was 31 to have it happen. Granted, it's not completely his fault. Mm-hmm. His previous coaches didn't use him correctly. The Falcons' offense found a way to use him correctly, and now
that's exactly why he's staying.
A lot more value. My first bet is that he would stay with the Falcons, especially they really need him now with no Ridley.
Mm-hmm.
Owen?
I have to agree with you. I mean, There's not much to say.
Yeah, look, he hasn't worked in other systems before because they don't know how to use them. He finds one system that makes him know how to work, and now you're just going to dump him? Hell fucking no. Especially if you got Mike Davis, who hasn't done shit. I was kind of disappointed by that because I kind of liked Mike Davis. Then he just kind of, like, sucked. So
Here we go. Another name you could throw out there that also took his time having a breakout season, you would say. James Conner.
I don't really.
I never thought he was that great for the Steelers, and I thought he wasn't going to be all that great for the Cardinals. And granted, if you look, he was very touchdown dependent.
Mm-hmm.
He had 15 rushing touchdowns and 3 receiving touchdowns. But, see, that's a lot of the things that people look at first glance. They're like, oh, my God, he had 15 touchdowns. He's so good. If you look at the stats, on 202 carries, 752 yards, averaging 3.7 yards a carry.
Mm-hmm.
That's not that great.
I was never a big fan of James
That's below
Conner.
average. And granted, too, you can use him out of the backfield in the receiving game, but I don't think he's anything special. But because of some of those just standout numbers he had, he'll get paid. He'll find a place somewhere.
Yeah, he'll definitely find a role somewhere. I have a team in mind.
More likely back with the Cardinals. Also, too, with like a majority of these free agents, I do see a lot of re-signs.
Yeah. No
First
doubt.
thought.
Well, because they're familiar with it. They'll go to free agency. They'll see that their money is kind of comparable to their home team, and they'll realize, hey, I don't really want to go to a new team, buy a new house, have to do all these things, learn a new system, have new coaches. I'm comfortable where I am.
And sticking with running backs, let's also take some consideration for Leonard Fournette.
I was just going to say that. I think one of them, out of those two guys, I've seen a lot of Dolphins talk hop out there.
I like that.
They're a team that definitely needs some help. They're a team that on the next episode you'll see Owen's actually going to talk about them and how they need to do a little bit of self-evaluation. We'll save that for then. But I definitely do think they need a running back to get the pressure off of Tua, turn the ball over, get the ball out of his hands just a little bit. Not that he's bad, but you need to get a little bit of help with the run game. If I'm the Dolphins, obviously I want Fournette first because I even liked Fournette out of Jacksonville. I don't know why the hell they ever got rid of him.
Myles Gaskin is not the answer.
No, definitely not. I don't really like James Conner either, but I'm taking James Conner over Myles Gaskin any day.
Yep.
Can we quickly...
Any other free agents?
There are free agents, but if we're... can we talk about some trade candidates as well?
Yeah.
Let's talk about... you know what's number one on the list?
What?
Carson Wentz.
Yeah, and
that happened.
Great transition. Thanks a lot, Nate. Going back to the trade that got breaking news a good 20 minutes ago or so, we have the full details now. According to our good friend Adam Scheffner, the full trade is the Colts will be receiving a 2022 third-round pick, a 2023 third-round pick, but that can become a second-round pick if Carson Wentz plays 70% of snaps, and a 2022 second-round pick, while the Commanders get Carson Wentz and a 2022 second-round pick. Not too bad, but then you see here in the follow-up tweet,
I'm going to say I'm interested to see
the
his
Commanders are paying the full $28 million due to Carson Wentz this year, which includes a $5 million roster bonus due next week.
We know who lost that trade.
Commander Carson is in the building.
And I'm not happy if I'm the Commanders. I mean, you got your quarterback.
You still got a second rounder, too.
Yeah, but I don't know.
They kind of snuck that one in there.
I am a hater.
I'm just saying, Heineke Nation. Am I wrong? Heineke Nation.
I don't really think Carson Wentz is a humongous.
Well, they just told him to sit the fuck down.
No, they told Heineke. Like,
you really think Heineke's that much better? That much worse than Carson?
Wentz
you think that's an upgrade?
No,
it is.
No, I feel like Heineke is better.
It's not the biggest upgrade, but it's an upgrade. And with the market kind of disintegrating after yesterday, the Commanders kind of like their options got limited very quickly, and they needed to make a move. This is low key, I think, like a panic move.
Yeah, because Carson
I feel like they didn't want to wait. I feel like they didn't want to wait for Jimmy Garoppolo.
They can still draft somebody. They can still do that.
I would have done that first because, dude, the problem with Carson is that not only he's just like he's like an quarterback. That humongous contract that comes with him that limits you is even worse. And good for the Colts for getting rid of that because I wanted to see the money. Because if it was like they still had to pay it half, then that's kind of a bullshit deal. But if they have to pay if they dump that contract, that is like
that's big time.
The smartest move.
That That is the biggest.
Even if they have no
The
quarterback,
not
right
even
now,
the picks. It's the contract
getting rid of
dump.
Carson's contract because that's the biggest problem.
Now, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world for the Commanders because I don't know this completely, but I don't think they're like a big payroll team yet.
No.
Like, no one's making big money at the moment.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Because there's a couple
Scary
guys.
Terry,
Yeah.
Chase Young. There's going to be a lot of guys coming up soon that are going to have to get paid. But as we're speaking, it's not a big money team.
They had a decent record last year, which was cool, but at the same time,
I had high expectations for them because they had a good-looking defense, and then they tried out quarterback stuff, and then the defense actually ended up being bad.
The bad one, yeah. If I'm the Commander's position right now, I'm not trying to trade for Carson. I'm trying to stock up draft picks, try to get a newer, younger quarterback in there, let Heineke cook for just a little bit longer, play the long game out. I think that was a great move for the Colts, not a fantastic move for the Commanders.
And going back to potential trade candidate quarterbacks, the biggest name on the market now with Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and now Carson Wentz off the board is Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy G, baby.
G.
I'm interested to hear Owen's opinion on this because I think he is a big Trey
It has
Lance
been
guy.
speculated ever since the San Francisco 49ers traded up in the first round last year to specifically draft Trey Lance that everyone's saying, oh, Garoppolo's gone. Well, he made it through this year. He started. He got him to the playoffs. He got him to the AFC Championship, put up a good fight. And now, even with that, what he pulled off this season, a lot of people are still saying that he's getting shipped out of town.
I can see it.
It seems inevitable at this
He's going
point.
to the Bucs.
But here's the point, too.
Jimmy's going to the Bucs.
I mean, I don't mind that.
Bucs,
But here's
yeah.
the problem with Jimmy. Here's the problem is that he just got shoulder surgery. And apparently it's going to keep him out for a while. And apparently San Fran thought he could have got over it normally, just like healing it, icing it, doing whatever he had to do, physical therapy. But they didn't want to do surgery. And I think it got bad enough to where they had to do the surgery. And I think this kind of fucks him over.
See, this Carson trade kind of sucks because I was seeing Jimmy go to the Commanders because they kind of want their new guy. And Jimmy G's not the oldest, but he's not the youngest. He has Super Bowl experience. Hey, he's the guy in the league who's got the most Super Bowl wins at this moment in time, if you didn't know that one. But I don't know. I like Jimmy. I think he's a decent guy. If you surround him with good players,
Definitely better than I like him more
than.
than Wentz.
Definitely better than Wentz. I think he's a step above those guys who are just functionable, like we were talking about. I think he's an upgrade from Wentz.
Yeah.
Do I think he's a guy that can bring you to a Super Bowl? Not anymore, but he could definitely make a deep playoff run. And if you have players that can surround him, then quite maybe you could make a Super Bowl, just like the Commanders' offense. Scary Terry,
Antonio
Gibson. If you re-sign
Sheriff.
Some of your line,
Yep.
yeah, Sheriff. You
They
could
got-
make a decent push.
It's a fun looking team on paper.
I don't like
It's just
Carson
everything
Wentz,
has
though.
to get put together.
I don't like Carson.
Well,
Wentz.
at least he's going to a team that has like a good running back still. Like Antonio Gibson is not as good as Jonathan Taylor.
No,
Don't make me, don't think I say that, but it's still good.
Yeah.
They can make something work.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you have good coaching and you figure something out. You can make anybody look good.
Yeah, no doubt.
Now I got a real good one. We talked about it earlier in the show. Where do we think Bobby Wagner's going?
Bobby Wagner?
Bobby Wags. I don't even
What
think
if-
we talked about where he's
Yeah,
going.
well,
We
hang
just
on a
talked
second.
about-
Going back to Jimmy, what if the Colts take Jimmy now?
Dude.
But that'd be weird, though.
That would be the dumbest thing that ever happened.
No.
It would make sense and it wouldn't make sense because Garoppolo has a fat contract too. But at the same time, he's
Yeah, but
better
he's-
than Wentz.
How much is on his contract? It's not as much.
Garoppolo, at the time he got his contract, became the highest paid quarterback. Obviously, that was a while ago. But at the time he got it, this was like 3 years ago.
Depends how much
or
is
whatever.
left because Wentz has 3 years left. I know. If Jimmy only has
Does he?
1 or 2 years, then I mean that's worth it.
Let's look it
Jimmy
up.
G's a step up, and if there's no one really on the quarterback market left, unless they don't have a first round pick, so unless their plan is to give up a little more to get that first round pick for a quarterback, then I think your only option really is Jimmy G.
Garoppolo is apparently a free agent come next offseason.
Oh, 100%. I would do it on the spot. If your plan is the Colts is not to draft up and get a quarterback,
Garoppolo is owed, he's a cap hit of just about $27 million. And Wentz is
I know
being
they
paid
have
28.
money. Yeah, and it's only 1 year.
Yeah.
Problem is, Wentz is 3 years.
Yep. Yeah, no, Garoppolo
If you're not trading
back
up,
in 2018 got 5 years for $137.5 million.
if I'm the Colts, I'm either trading up for a quarterback or I'm sticking with Jimmy G. And if I had to pick a choice right now,
Colts are going to go after Jameis. There you go.
no, please. I want Jameis to stay in New Orleans.
There you go. That is a hot spot for Jameis right now.
Is that your take? Should
That
we
is-
put that on the TikTok?
That's my take now. Is that
That's
Jameis
your take?
Winston? Jameis Winston is the man for the Colts because he'll be on the cheaper side, and then that way the Colts can either draft or sign more weapons for him, or some defensive guys, and they got Jonathan Taylor, who they could still give the ball to 5,700 times.
All
a
right,
game.
folks, you heard it here, folks. Justin Landgrebe's take officially is the Indianapolis Colts, Jameis Winston. You know what? Let's just throw the hot takes out there right now. 3 quarterbacks: Carson, Jimmy, and Jameis. Throw me some teams.
Hey, hang on, that's funny too. Going back, another tweet from the Adam Schefter. Apparently, Carson Wentz is back. I didn't even think about this. He's back in the NFC East. He's going to play the Eagles twice a year now.
Oh yeah,
And he's going back to Indianapolis to play the Colts this year too.
that's sick.
And speaking of that same thing, fucking Russell Wilson is coming back to Seattle as the Broncos will face the Seahawks at some point this year. And someone made a good point too. We know the opponents. It's just no schedule has actually come out yet. So these assholes are probably going to make that game like week 1 or the home opener. They're going to make it prime time. They're going to advertise the shit out of it. They're going to make such a big deal out of it. And it's like, just, come on, man.
Sucks for you.
Just for Seattle to get their ass whooped.
Imagine. But here's the thing, though. I feel like we would actually destroy them, to be honest. Because who's Russell been practicing against his whole career? The Seahawks defense. So we know him best.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to go opposite on that one. If that game's happening like week 1, I'm going Broncos straight up. Exactly. Russ knows your entire defense and how they work and operate. And if you don't know your quarterback at the moment, and if it really is Drew Lock, I'm 1,000% going with the Broncos. Like I said, great trade just because this is long game for Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying to make it short game, the Broncos have favor, but overall it's great because the Broncos need it. Seahawks don't at the moment, so I get that.
I'm gonna whip out a grade off the top of my head. So for the Broncos, I'm gonna give them an A. They get their quarterback. They still have 3 top 100 picks in this year's draft, and they already have a lot of talent both on offense and defense. They have a new coach who I think is going to be a successful coach, and so I think this was the right move for them. So I give them an A. And for the Seahawks, I will give them with the least amount of bias as possible.
Yeah, my ass. Here comes the A+.
Nope. I'm going to give them between borderline B+, A-. Subject to change once these draft picks get picked.
If you had to give it a moment right now and I had to give it a grade, I would give the Seattle Seahawks a because I think this is a long game move. I do think Russ is getting
That's
up
why
there in age.
I would say A too, but I'm not jumping the gun yet. I'm waiting on the picks.
I'm going to say A if you had to choose. It's a lot of draft capital. You could do stuff with that. If I'm the Broncos, I'm going to give this a B+. I don't think that this was an amazing blockbuster. It was blockbuster, but I think this wasn't an amazing trade for them as they lost their tight end, who was pretty solid and young. They lost a lot of draft capital that they could have used, like that 9th pick would have been nice.
Yep.
But it is still a B+ because they did get their guy. And if Russ can do something that maybe Peyton Manning did back when he went to the Denver Broncos,
and
their
grade is subject to change too, because if Russ comes in and they don't make the playoffs, then that it totally defeats the purpose.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and what do you think? If they don't make the playoffs, someone needs to be fired.
Yeah.
Straight up. Oh, and what do you think? You got grades?
Yeah, I'm got to agree with you. They're an A, but that's subject to change. It all really depends on how their season goes.
Yeah. No, yeah, I totally get that. I get that. We talk a lot about the free agencies and trade candidates.
The Indianapolis Colts for the 6th straight season will be having a different quarterback week 1.
Sheesh, really?
Yep. 2016 Andrew Luck, 2017 Scott Tolzien, 2018 Andrew Luck, 2019 Jacoby Brissett, 2020 Phillip Rivers, 2021 Carson Wentz, and 2022 is TBD.
Interesting.
That is not
I can definitely see
the
them now
best
trading
sign
up.
for a successful team.
Yeah, but
Maybe once they
they're
sign
in the
Jameis.
right direction. Jameis.
Jameis. Bring him to Indianapolis. Anyone else who you think is a trade candidate that's not
I'm trying to look at my
a quarterback?
notes. Saquon.
Oh, that's fast.
Saying it here. The Giants.
We'll talk about that
yeah.
in another breakdown. I think at this point we've spoiled all the teams we're going to talk about next episode, but maybe you'll forget by then.
Hopefully.
Who knows?
It'll be a week till it comes out.
Either way, we're still talking about it.
Yeah. Well, let's just hit Saquon anyway, because he's one of those guys that'll come out. You'll probably definitely mention him in your little excerpt. But Saquon's a guy that is, if he doesn't get traded to a team like that, if he doesn't get traded, Saquon, then it's almost like wasted talent. He was drafted out of Penn State, with high expectations. He was a really great running back, and when healthy, he really is still a great running back.
Mm-hmm.
And
both
I hate to
running
say
and
it.
receiving.
Yeah, I hate to say it because one of our friends is a Giants fan, but the Giants are kind of just wasting his talent, and the Giants organization really needs to get it in check, because I saw some stat that since 2007, every team has had one positive record in a season since 2007, and the Giants are the only one that hasn't. The Giants really are just. I'm sorry to hate on any Giants fans right now, but the Giants organization needs to get their fucking shit together.
Oh, no, isn't that since like 2016 or something? 2017.
2017, sorry, not 2007. 2017. My
That's
bad.
when they
with
beat the
stats.
Patriots. You trying to run away from that?
Yeah.
Bozo.
I'm sorry. I hate to shit on Giants, the organization of the Giants, but something needs to be done. And with their new head coach, I think something can be done. But you need to pay some guys, because Saquon Barkley's contract's up in 2 years. You're paying Kenny Golladay millions to sit on the bench, injured 24/7. Daniel Jones, you need to find out a quarterback for. Justin's going to talk about this and his rebuild a little bit more.
Here's my little preview.
Needs to happen.
Giants fans, your team fucking sucks. You need to wake up. And I'm gonna fix your team. All right.
You heard it here, folks. Justin is the answer. No, but I think their head coach is
Justin
cool.
is the general manager.
Yeah, no, I think their head coach is cool. I think he'll be good.
Hey. I was a fan of Russell Wilson go to the Giants. All right. You guys have 2 nice first-round picks. I would have taken.
I would have hated that. I would have hated Russell.
I was
Wilson
all for it.
Giants.
I would have took
You
Danny.
want to know why? No. You want to know why?
Not
'Cause
Danny.
No offense to the Giants fans, but that's all we would hear for the next full season. Russell Wilson from every Giants fan. It's almost like Cowboys fans saying, "Oh, it's our year, we done boys." And it would sound like that.
I know for some fans across wherever you're watching this, that might not be the option, but up here in Connecticut, you're either a Patriots fan or a Giants fan, or for some of us who are not normal, you're the one Seahawks fan in Connecticut. So, yeah, you're either
Still
Patriots
here.
or Giants, and that's all you hear up here, or Jets, but there's not a lot of Jets fans because they're not that good.
Or you're like our good old pal Nick, who's a freaking Cowboys fan.
Yeah, everyone knows a Cowboys fan at least once, and it's always their year.
We love Nick. Shout out to Nick.
A lot of random ass Cowboy fans. A lot of random ass Green Bay fans.
Yeah, that's true. You never see a Chargers fan.
No, you don't.
You never see a Chargers
really
fan.
don't.
No, you don't.
You see
No, you
Lamar
don't.
fans, never see
Yeah.
Ravens fans.
You're gonna see a lot of Rams fans now just because they won the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, I already know a girl who posted on her story like, "I knew my team would make it," and I've never seen her ever like watch football or like encourage football. She's like,
Last thoughts here. Where with Bobby, being released, what team we think is gonna pick him up?
One of the first teams off the top of my head is also the Philadelphia Eagles.
"Hey, Matthew Judon was recruiting Bobby Wagner. I hate
I
to
was
be that
gonna
guy."
say that. I
He's
was
not gonna
gonna
go there.
say that.
I think-
Matthew Judon was like, "Hey, boy."
Here's my theory. Maybe Bobby Wagner will go to another bird-related team.
Imagine. Nah, he's definitely gonna go.
I do wish Seattle traded him. Because I do like it's kind of like, it's an A move. A grade A move. Yes, it sucks because it's Bobby Wagner, who is a legend, and he's not going to be on the team anymore, but you save $16.5 million in cap room by dumping him out of there. And that's money we're going to need. We need it.
Yeah,
So, again, love you, Bobby. Best of luck wherever you go. as long as it's not the NFC West. Have fun.
Bobby to the Rams confirmed with that right there.
Imagine.
Oh, and do you have a prediction, or are you all set?
Patriots. Matthew Judon's, out there trying to get him. Patriots don't usually recruit.
I would
first
love.
time I've ever seen it.
I would love that.
Yeah, and I'm already recruiting Russell to come back.
Yes, recruit Russell to Seattle.
Hashtag Gary come home.
Yeah, no, but that was a good episode for the first one, guys. I think we really did hit the free agency market just a tad. We got a few good hits in there, as well as the franchise tags and players who did not get tagged. Hopefully, my boy J.C. Jackson comes back. But that's another topic for our next episode, as we're going to go over some of our teams.
Yeah, as we basically spoiled all the topics
pretty much
for
the
next
whole
episode.
episode.
We won't even preview it, because we previewed it throughout the episode.
Oh yeah,
if you watch, you'll catch on.
Yeah, no, yeah. So it's gonna be good.
Yeah, this episode will come out as soon as possible. Definitely not the day we're recording, but you might not know that. We got another episode coming out soon, and then the episode after that is where we will do more reflections on free agent signings and whatever trades.
Yeah, because by that time it'll all be done. But for you guys watching this episode will actually be out on the 11th, because that is our release date. You'll see the name, the Offsidesmen Podcast. I hope you like the logo. Took a little bit of time. We think it's really nice. We want to keep this going, so if you guys will, we're going to be posting a lot on TikTok. TikTok is the way to go, as people can comment with creators. We can reply right on post. We can text right on the chat as well. We also have an Instagram and a Twitter. They are all run by us. Justin mainly handles the Instagram. Owen mainly handles the TikTok, and the Twitter, and we all do the TikTok. So if you're looking to reach out for us, our DMs are always open. Comment on any post. We always love to reply and hear what your guys' comments are. And we'd love to talk to you guys. So if you want, tap on the TikTok. Shoot us a little comment. We'll reply to the comments and let you guys know our thoughts, and maybe even bring you guys in on a live.
There will be links.
There will be links all in the description. You're probably watching this video on our YouTube page, so please subscribe and like if you're new, and give us a follow, and let us know if you guys like the episodes and any future episode talks. This has been Nathan Mall.
Justin Landgrebe.
Owen Jalbert.
You will see him eventually.
Yes, you will
and
see
you will
him.
like it.
Yes, you will. I really want to get him in here. I really want to get him in the studio. We got to figure it out.
You'll see him, on the computer. You'll see him in person next to one of us.
And if you're listening, if you're like me and you're listening to the audio, thank you for listening. Hope you have a nice day.
Perfect.
Yep. And shout out to Dawn in the other room for helping us out with cameras and audio. Shout out to Zach
Dawn
as well.
And Zach, yeah. Thank you guys for
setting us up and letting us use the studio.
Yep, they are producers, so let's give a big round of applause to Zach and Dawn. But thank you guys for watching. This has been the Offsidesmen, episode 1.
All you Seahawks fans, stay strong.
Stay strong. Russell Wilson out.
Stay strong.